uh, what are they called? Water guns. Not those big pink, pew, with all the things. This is like a real man's, like gun shooting other kids for real. You know, squirting little squirts in the face. Anyway, I just wanted y'all to know for my birthday I got a real man's illegal without the pink top. So that's all. Wait, and you can thank Batman. Thank Batman.
I got them both. I got you both.
Okay.
That's an old toy, man.
God, I can't believe that's still around. What's next? All right.
Some of these are in better shape than others.
Oh yeah, my old 55. Fuck yeah. Used to love this bitch. Open the doors. Oh, they're not gonna open now. Probably. Oh no, this one didn't.
One of them, yeah, I was gonna say that. I think they opened it on. I mean, I know they're supposed to, but
Yeah, I used to disassociate in Davie. So just hold it and spin the tires. Imagine it was going down the road. It was one of my favorite cars. And then, but what's frustrating is that the fucking hood should have come up. It was too cheap for that. But I kept imagining and trying. It was always frustrating. No, I love this car, man. It was one of my favorites. All right, good score twice. 55 was always better than a 57. 57 was the most overrated, overhyped Chevy there was. The 55 was the real one.
calm down.
I'll
Let's
take
just
that.
calm
I'll
down.
take that battle to the grave. Did you
I
hear
wouldn't
that?
argue it as much, but I think they're both pretty
Iconic Chevrolet automobiles.
So score
Shark fin, round fin.
score for saving this for me, but negative for not saying it's the greatest thing ever. Thumbs down.
So let me see. Yeah, so that's an American toy, made in USA.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. probably
This
was
is
the
a
last
Japanese toy.
one. And it's a British tank.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think it's a British tank.
Yeah, they use.
Is it Bradley?
No, Bradley was American. It was a. God, I
Not
forgot
a
the
tank,
name.
was it?
No, it was a tank destroyer. But they had modified versions of these. You could see them back when the what's that country was the Brit. No, it's Protestants against the Catholics. Ireland.
Yes.
They used to have modified versions of this with water cannons, sometimes with the tank, and they run over people and stuff. So that's how I know it's a Brit. Fucking Brit kill some people.
I like it because obviously the turn moves, but the cannon goes up and down too.
Yeah, no, I like that about both. Usually, a toy of this nature would only have one good wiggle action.
No.
This had two. This is a double thumbs up. Because he's not disagreeing me as why there's a second. And that always just frustrated me. I think that's where they hung it on the manufacturing, but it looked like a keyhole. But as you noted, the markings are of the American Expeditionary Force on the side. So it's fake markings, wrong decades. So two thumbs up on him believing me and saving this toy for my child. One bad thumb down for being unrealistic. Bullshit factory.
These aren't your toys. Make sure we're clear on that, right?
Those aren't?
Yeah. These came out of your attic.
Well, no, I know. That's what I'm saying.
So you
Really?
said-
That is incredible.
Yeah. When
Wow.
I sold the house, I went up there and grabbed the things that I thought were important, which was not a lot, to be honest.
Well, no, but you realize I remember all of these.
Yeah, well, I hoped you did. I just want to be. I don't want to be taking grief because you had a shitty toy or a wrong decade marking on.
No, I didn't. It was. I wasn't giving you the
I know,
thumbs
man.
down.
I'm giving you a hard time.
I was, as I grew older and was able to research these things, thanks to the military books that Grandma and Granddad would give me. I love having Grandma and Granddad would give me these big military information manuals, and I could look up and see how shitty and wrong all my toys were. But I still loved them.
Well, so that's Japan, that's USA, that's Hong Kong. 3 different origins and no Chinese toys yet. Isn't that time? Is that possible today, you think?
No.
Here's one thing
God,
you
here it
did.
is, here it is, here it is.
Pretty rough shape.
Yeah, it had, when I originally got it, it had toys. This was something, my dad used to collect the metal, including that P-38 you have, all metal toys, because even back then, they were something, but it had wheels.
Yeah.
And after I snapped off you want that?
I just want to see it.
Well, after I would always, he'd leave them out because he'd work on them. Of course, I'd go and went there and play with them. And if I broke enough stuff off, I didn't do it on purpose. You know, eventually when Dad would go on mission, Mom would give them to me. But I snapped off the cannon, and once you snap that off, then it's for a tank or an armored car, then it's fucking useless.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the same military appeal without a big.
Yeah, it looks like a water cannon, or
Yeah.
and so I'm trying to remember. This was a Brit, and I can't read that writing. Did you read it? So a lot of, I don't know if it's because Matchbox was originally British, but a lot of the toys that they sold in America and pretended to be American were all made. The designs were from British designs.
Well, it says made in England. It says armored car,
Yes.
Lone Star Products, Modern Army Series.
Yeah. See, it was made in British, and then they would pawn it off to Americans.
I like it. It's hard to see, but in the cast in the front, it's got shovels and tools that would have been strapped to the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool that they put that in the cast
Yeah. No.
as opposed to stickers.
I loved anything that was steel like this. It's got all kinds of stuff to like, but then so Dad would try to fuse it on, then I'd break it off again, and
I
he
didn't know your
yelled.
dad. I didn't know he collected metal toys. It does not surprise me at all. But
But there, as a child of military and one who played war constantly, there were certain ones, the metal ones, I was tempted. I decimated his. He didn't have that many, but I love this one now. Any full metal one that actually still had moving parts, and it had the other 3 wheels for the longest time. And now I imagine it was fantastic. Okay, triple thumbs up all around, but you be specific. A thumbs down to the Brits. Not Randy. Popping that shit off. Lone Star Products.
I brought you a handful of comics that I've forgotten I had taken out. But you can look at those later.
The fuck is that?
It's a Hershey's tin can. That's, I don't know. I've looked in here. It's your shit, man. I don't know. It was like a.
Well, if I look at it, I'll recognize it.
Well, okay. I'm trying to get the lid off because it's seated on there. I'm popping open my knife.
This, if anything, must have been a.
It's probably from high school. It looks like it would have been a dope stash can or something. But
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It was something later, because I remember everything as a kid. Have you opened it?
yeah, I have here. Let me see. I want to say it's like middle school or high school trinket stuff.
Well, I bought a lot of stuff at when we drive around Arkansas. Like, what's that tourist town that used to be cool until Branson? They had all these flea market buildings downtown. It was a real pretty town.
Arkansas?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not ringing a bell to me.
Yeah, we went a bunch. I'll remember it. Let me see.
Guitar tunings?
Yeah.
See, this is interesting. Who is Gene Budwick? Georgia Gene Budwick.
Here, let me see. I'll tell you.
Hollywood, California. Is this a fake ID or some shit?
Oh, yeah, no, this is,
Why is this in? Is that your sister?
no, that was a fun night. And she left her California ID, and man, I moved to some place, I was doing a lot of stuff where I go to Arkansas, and I hear these nasty messages. And it wasn't that I was trying to avoid her, but she was with, I'm remembering all the stories that I can't talk about on video with her.
I don't know who she is. I don't remember you
I'll tell
ever
you.
mentioning.
I didn't even show the ID. I didn't want to.
No, I'm just kidding, but
This is post high school though.
yeah, but there's a lot of those I've never mentioned. But
Yeah.
it's just filling me with,
Keeping her ID that's an interesting move.
what was she?
Here, this is the coolest thing. When I open this box, I'm like, oh, this is all, whatever. This is candy.
Oh, the jam pack candy, the jam box.
That screams 80s.
And for some reason, I can't remember why I didn't eat it. I saved it. Or what's in here?
I think it's still got candy in it.
Like cassette tape candy or something?
I don't know.
There was some reason I wanted to save it.
Probably just because, the same reason I have a Jolt's Cola can on my shelf when me and you went to Highland Park Mall when we were
Oh,
13 or something.
that's
I
back
don't
when
know.
Jolt was something.
Yeah, you
It
couldn't
was
find it in
controversial.
Arkansas, that's for sure.
I think there was something cool about like the candies were cassette tapes or something. Like
There's a lot of stuff in here that I'm going to say, what was cool about this exactly? But I'm sure you might know. Like a rock.
Are there more than one?
Rocks? Yeah, there's a couple.
Then I might be able to recognize them.
There's also.
Well, I'm not so what's that term when you bleed easy?
See, some of this stuff may belong to your sisters.
No, for a while they had me indoctrinated. This was mine. Animal liberation. When Debbie first went vegetarian, I'm sure she bought it for me. Yeah, I remember this. And it wasn't like a vegetarian. No. Before, this was way before she got indoctrinated. We used to do all those pet rescues before it was cool, before anyone did it. So we were all one to rescue. We used to pick up stray dogs and cats.
Is this Debbie or Karen or both?
The whole family. Mom led the way. We'd drive around all over East Austin and liberate dogs that had chains wrapped around their neck. And then for a week we'd get them spayed, neutered, fixed. And then we would sort of train them and calm them down and get their PTSD. And then we put an ad in, give them their shots. We did that constantly. And we did it with cats too for years. It was like a little army thing. See, this is great. This is helping me remember all this. Oh, I remember that.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, instantly is turning lights on, but now I gotta remember what it is. So some of these things, when remembering it, then I have to remember what it is.
Well, it's a pretty turquoise earring. There's a few. That's why I said I didn't know if all this was yours or your sister's. There's another earring
No,
in here.
it's mine.
I'm guessing that's supposed to be kind of a feather look.
No, this is the first one that doesn't scream at me, although I might remember it. This first thing in there. I know I bought. This was either something a girl left for me, or I think I bought it and didn't give it to her. And yes, he's got a tag on the back.
No, it does. It looked familiar to me, but familiar only in kind of I remember jewelry like this at a certain age.
The only time for a while that I was buying stuff like that was with you.
Well, I never bought real dangly earrings though. Well, I might have bought, but I don't know. I think I did though.
I'll have to. That if I stare at it, I'll figure it out. But that's not very Debbie-like.
Well, here, how about?
Oh, I remember that.
Why would you? Hey, the remnants of a belt buckle.
Well, I remember it, and I remember wanting to keep it. But this one is not okay. I could see it when it was on, and I could see it when it was off, and there was like some really funny, dramatic memory of when it got.
Some girl ripping off. Is this Kelf?
No, it was a different. But it's. I think what it is that I'm having to drill back in my memory break, and now I'm exhausted. So
Well, I'm sorry. We can settle it down here.
No, but I can tell you all about that. Also, I'm being video, so it's got to keep the dirty in check.
Yeah, that's. Was that really saved? It almost looks so specific. It was at the same time. From what?
What is that?
It's a corner of some paper card or tag, maybe. I don't know.
Do you know what it is, Mike?
I recognize it, but I don't know what it is.
That's
But that
almost as random as this, which is the corner of a solicitation envelope from Dillard's, I do believe.
way old.
Why you would have that?
Well, I met the daughter of the Dilliard family at a party of liberals, and that was during when I was the most eligible bachelor. I had blonde hair, and I worked for Molly Ivins. And she was
I remember those days.
desperately trying to hook me up with her daughter. But that has nothing to do with this. Maybe I'm at the point where I can't identify the rings.
Well, that's a pair of earrings. I just found the other one. This looks more like a. Yeah. There's a bunch of change here. Good Lord.
How you doing, Mike?
Doing all right.
Good. I love you.
Oh my God.
Recognize that?
Of course. Oh, I thought that was long gone. It's an Italian love horn that's what they're called. I didn't know it at the time. But Dad and I made it.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the first pieces of jewelry that Dad and I made, and I thought that was going.
That's awesome, man.
So, Debbie, during her wild years, had stole all the jewelry I made with Dad, and it was a lot, and sold it. I only know that because I caught her once. And so I thought it was all gone. And how the fuck did I?
Well, like I say, when I found this, I knew it was all just weird and random enough because we're alike in so many ways that everything had a meaning. Now, whether you were going to recall it or not, but I think that's super cool that you just found that.
Holy crap! And I actually, it comes up in my dreams. It comes up every month and a half or so in conversations with somehow, because all I could do is talk, and I talk with the techs and nurses. And Joey will come up, and then I'll talk about what he used to make with Dad. And this was the first thing.
When you get Gretchen to get you a chain, maybe you can wear it.
I want to wear it now.
If I realized that I got you a chain to put it on, man.
No, man.
We'll get you a chain, Mike.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so important. That of all the things that this was the thought had been taken or sold or melted, but I mean it's not like it that high a content of gold. Anyway, fuck you, go away.
Nobody else is going to compare to this, I don't think. But this is kind of fun. It's a nice live 22.
Okay. It's interesting because it's. Do y'all see my red, orange readers? They were on the tray.
But you get taken with food.
No.
Would that be in your bag somewhere, Mikey?
No, don't. It's not there.
Okay. I
Have
don't
you
see it.
looked? I think they must have got left to the other places. But this is what I think. Should be able to turn the top. Can you see in that hole in the top? Can you tell if it's a blank or a hollow point? Because that would be two different.
I could look at it and tell you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know what it's.
It's,
I think it's a hollow point.
it's too small, I think, to be a hollow point.
Well, I didn't think they made hollow points in 22
Let's see.
caliber, but
Oh, they do.
Yes, it's a hollow point,
it
Mike.
looks like a hollow point.
Yeah, it's got a whole hollow point, definitely.
Okay, so that is from. God, what a weird mix of. I would have never been that organized to keep things from like
I'm
that
not
many years.
sure what
No,
call
it's
this
a-
organized, but
It's a hollow point from Dad's Ruger. The most that gun felt like it was my hand. I loved shooting it, and I always had it at Dad's. And then when I got the property in 973, he gave it to me. But we had tons and tons of hollow points to stop meth heads.
did your dad have a lot of guns?
Yeah, he had a gun because he was a jeweler. He had a gun in each room in the jewelry house, like under each desk, and there were 5 of them. Would be like a Folgers can, like that, and that acted as a holster, so he could reach down. And he had all kinds of automatic weapons, some good, some like that. Ruger, Luger, 45 Beretta, that is
Beretta.
and that one he could shoot off real quick. And then in the main jewelry room, he had a. Thank you for recording this. He had a sawed-off shotgun, and so each desk he could get. And it was scary because I didn't. Because when I'd come over, because I knew he'd be up at 2 in the morning, when I lived down 6 acres from him, and I'd walk up and I'd go, oh boy. And I'd put my face right because he'd be, and I'd be like, okay, not a fast knock or a slow, just a knock, knock, knock. And I'd see him and be like, deep breath, and then he let me in, but it was always kind of the nightmare.
Again, it does not surprise me your dad had guns at all. I'm not sure I remember that, which is kind of weird.
I don't know that you would have, because Dad only worked 11 p.m. to 5 a.m.
But I mean, it seems like we would have maybe shot him at some point when we were younger with him. But
Well, he never shot him with me. I'm remembering the exact. He showed me it once, and it wasn't until later when he was gonna have me take over the business. Well, okay. When I moved down 6 acres, he gave me that. He didn't show me how to use it, but he said it's an easy squeeze. It had no safeties in it. There was no serial number. It was untraceable. And it was really this amazing.
I'm sure that's completely legal
of
too.
course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's probably legal now. And he gave me all these extra hollow points. And then when he died, I had that. When he died, law enforcement was cleaning this house out with all of his jewelry and all of his guns were gone, except for I found that Luger, which he had shown me before, that I found in the bottom of the box, but I cleaned it up and was able to shoot it. Jason and I would shoot it and Luger out back in the field. And some heroin junkie in Humble, Texas took my Luger. But I still got a bullet from it. But see, that's a 25-year span. It's almost like some kind of, I would never, it's just crazy.
If you can connect this, I'll be very impressed. I don't know if that's not a setup. I have no idea.
I'm
Like
way too tired to talk about it, but I know that John and I used to have this contest in high school where we'd each bite into an aluminum can, and we'd each use this tooth and then try to get a tear in, and then we would use our mouths to,
okay, you're already making me. Yeah.
and then we would
Brush
chew.
my teeth thinking about
Pop that open, and then we would like make necklaces, and we just like to do it. This is when we were 15 or 16. We like to do it to show off. This is before it was the beast and popular, and that's when John used to make his napkin burritos. I recognize it, but I'm too out of it. But I do want to see what else is in there.
It's definitely from the flea market, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's from the flea market. I had black sticks, and then I had like 4. But I thought you were with me when we bought them.
Probably. I remember buying them. I remember making fun of you for liking sticks. Then I
Well,
remember
that
getting
was-
into sticks.
This is the first.
How much do we have left? My battery's getting low.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's
No,
quite a
is
bit
there?
left. I don't think we need to worry about filming the rest of it. But, in fact, we can take a break and you can look through this later, Mikey.
Oh, well, let's take a break.
Okay.
All right. Say bye, Mike.
Um,
All right. Love you.
too.